Hey loves, and welcome back to my channel. It's Ijama here, and in today's video we're going to learn how to make this trendy Veekeejames top. She wore it for her introduction, and we are going to learn how to sew this top looks easy until you try to sew it. I'm not trying to discourage anyone, and before we continue, I want to notify us that this is for advanced students only. This is for advanced students, please. If you're a beginner, please do not come to the comment section to complain that you did not understand, but I'll do my best with my explanation. I'll try and explain very well. So for this top, I don't know, if you're making it with a skirt, you may need around 4-5 yards, but if you're making only the top, 1.5 yards of fabric should be enough for this. Sorry, you will need 2 yards or 2.5 because of the detail around it. Now this is the fabric that I'll be using, and we're going to be drafting our top first of all, and this is a blouse. So if you're making this type of blouse, if you want it to reach your hip line, fine, but I'll advise you to make it come up by like 3 inches from your hip line, or like 1 inch from, let's say 2 inches or 3 inches away from your hip line. Now I'll mark my chest line, that is 8 inches. I'll mark my underbust, I'll mark my bust point, that is 10, underbust 13, my half length is 17, my full length I want to make it 24. Now with this top has a normal padding. Yes, it has a normal padding. I will measure out my hip divided by 4 plus 2 inches, and that is where I will cross my paper. That is where I will mark a straight line, and the remaining part of the paper will be enough for me to draft this blouse. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is label my lines. I have my chest line, bust point, under bust, half length and full length. Now after marking that, the first thing that we are going to mark on this paper is our neckline, and this dress has a basic neckline, 3x3 is okay. If you're working with a skin net, 3x3 is okay, because at the end of the day it will stretch. You know how skin net behaves. Now after marking the neckline, I will connect, and after connecting, the next thing that I'm going to mark is my shoulder. This dress does not have any sleeve. If you check very well, it does not have any sleeve. I'll mark my shoulder, and from my shoulder I'll mark a straight line down to my chest line. Sorry, I couldn't find my curve. I have a child, sorry. So that's why I'm doing freehand for all these curvy areas. Now I'll find the midpoint of my armhole, and I'll go ahead and connect my arm. My armhole is not perfect, but let's manage it that way. Now after doing this, I'll go ahead and find my nipple to nipple. My nipple to nipple is 8 inches divided by 2, that is 4. So I marked 4 inches, and these 4 inches that I marked, I will extend the line from my full length up to my chest line or bust point. But for now I stopped at the bust point. Then I'll go ahead and trace out my yoke. I want to make this blouse thing easy. It is more like freehand. I don't want to do shoulder dart and co. Let's just use our normal dart. So after drafting your yoke, you will take out 1.5 inch from the side of that line. At the under bust, you will take out 2 inches. You can even make it 2.5, but I took out 2 inches. So connect from your bust point to your chest line, and from your bust point to your under bust also. So now I have done my upper bust tightening and my under bust tightening. Now at the full length, I'll mark 1 inch. I don't want to connect it straight to the dart line, because it will give me this fish shape or A-line shape that I don't like. So bring it down to the half length, and from the half length connect to the 1 inch you marked at the full length. If you want, you can even make it straight, but I don't want to make it straight. I don't want it to have a straight look, and I don't want it to have this fish or A-line look also. So from the center part of this paper, I took out 1/2 inch at the under bust, I took out 1/2 inch at the half length, and from there I connected it to the full line. So now to the full length. Now this is where I will be cutting out, and this is my yoke. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Now the next thing that we are going to do is to take our bust measurement divided by 4. I'm not adding any allowance here. And my under bust and half length, I will divide my waist by 4 plus 2.5 for the darts that I removed and mark. I'll mark the same thing at my half length. Then at the full length, you will divide your hip by 4 and add like extra 2, because you would want it to have this conical shape, like you want it to have this fish shape at the full length, right? You want it to have this A-line shape at the full length, so that it will accentuate your hip, like so that it will make your hip look fuller. So if you get your full length, divide your hip by 4. You can add extra 2 or extra 1 after dividing it by 4. Then you will connect. I'll go ahead and cut this out, and I'll draft mine back on the other side of the paper. So after cutting this out, I don't want to cut out the yoke for now. I will use it to draft my back also. I want to make the back drafting easy. So after cutting it out from the side, I will use it to draft my back first of all. Now, this dress has a zipper at the back, so it is not really stressful. The back is not really stressful. I marked my chest line and my half length only. This is the back. Then for the zipper allowance, I added like 2 inches zipper allowance. This is the half length line, this is the chest line, and then we have the full length. You will go ahead and mark your neckline. The neckline for the back, I want to make it 3 by 1.5. You can make it 3 by 1 inch, 1 inch for the depth, or 1.5 for the depth of the neckline. Then after marking your neckline, you mark your armhole. For the bust, you divide your bust by 4. So the back of this dress, we have a dart also, like it will come in pieces. It will have a dart. So what you are going to do is that from the zipper allowance, it will come in by 4 inches. Your nipple to nipple is 8, right? So from your zipper allowance, you will mark your nipple to nipple. That is 4. After marking that 4, you will extend it straight up to the chest line and straight down to the full length. Then on each side of that line at the half length, on each side of the dart, let me label the lines: chest line, half length, and full length. On both sides of the dart, you will take out half an inch. This is for the back. Then connect it to your chest line, connect the other one to the chest line, and then take them down to the full length. So this is the darts at the back. Then this dress has a yoke at the back also. So this is the yoke. The yoke will stop at the chest line. I hope you understand. Now divide your bust by 4. You mark. Divide your waist by 4 plus 1 inch for the dart you took out. You mark. Then at your hip, divide your hip by 4 plus extra 1 inch or 2 inches, and then you mark. I hope you understand. Then you go ahead and connect. After connecting this, you can now cut out, and remember to cut out your yoke. Remember to divide your pieces, like the back dart, you will cut it out. So you divide it into pieces. Cut out your shoulder, cut out your yoke, and then divide your back pieces into 2. Now, I want to make this easy. I don't want to do the tracing and everything on paper. We will do it on the fabric. I'm trying to make this blouse understandable. Now, let's cut our fronts. I will cut out my yoke first of all. Every marking that I did not do well, I am correcting it with my zipper. So I'll go ahead and cut out the center piece. This one is the center piece, and the remaining part is the side piece. So we are cutting off our dart. And please, when you are transferring this paper to your pattern, like to your fabric, when you are cutting this pattern on your fabric, remember to add half an inch allowance around all these dart lines. It is important. So now I'll label this paper, all this paper that I have here. I'll go ahead and label them. This is center back. This one is center back. This one is side back, SB. This one is center front. I wrote CF. This one is side front. I wrote SF. I have center back, side back, center front, side front. I hope you understand all this labeling. It is important. Now, I'll go ahead and cut out all these pieces that I have here. I'll cut them out on fold. Like I'll cut two pieces of each of them. That asymmetric full length of this blouse, I am going to do it on the fabric, not on paper, so that we will not get confused. If you want to do it on paper, you can do it on paper before transferring to your fabric, but let's do it on fabric. The next thing that I'll do now is to start cutting out all these things on my fabric, and I'll be cutting them on fold. Like you'll be cutting out two pieces of each of them. Then for the yoke part, you are cutting out your yoke on a skein net. The yoke will be on a skein net. Now I am done cutting, and we can already see what we have here. The next thing that I'm going to do right now is to open up all this fabric. This is center front. I'll open it up. The side front, I'll open it up. So I am trying to arrange all of them on my table. Then as you're arranging them, please indicate the back and always notch your underbust. So use your chalk. Your chalk is important right now. All these ones, you can see the way I'm placing them right now. So you always turn the back and mark the back. Always indicate the back part, because this is an asymmetric blouse. All the parts does not have the same shape. So any parts that you miss, you have to recut. Even me, I made a mistake. I had to recut some pieces that I made a mistake while cutting them. Then you can see how I'm arranging them from the center to side. Then from the side, the back pieces continued. From the other side, the back pieces continued. This is what you have now. So I will go ahead and close my darts on fabric. Like, don't sew it though. We only need to trace out the asymmetric shape at the full length, right? So close the darts and then mark out that asymmetric shape. You can see the shape I have there. So if you check this blouse very well, both sides are equal at the full length, but along the left hand side, she went up and came down again. So that is what I'm cutting out. And make sure that your dart lines are facing each other before you cut this particular thing. Then you can see around that dart line, she went up and came down to the side again. Then from the side, she went up around the dart line of the back also by like 3 inches and brought it down to the side again. So from there, you go up and you take down. So you can see the shape I'm giving this right now. So if you place your fabric this way, you go ahead and trace out this curve. You are free to give it any type of curve you have. So now I am packing all the back pieces so that when it is time to join, I will not make any mistake. This is very important. I hope you understand what I did here. I placed all my pieces together. I make sure that all the dart lines are facing each other before I traced out the asymmetric shape. You can do this on paper, but doing it on fabric will save you time. Now I'll start cutting out my lining. And as you are cutting this lining, always indicate the wrong side of your lining. For me, I will advise you to add interface to your lining before you start cutting. But this is for illustration's sake. I'm not making this dress for anybody, so I'm not adding interface to my lining. So as you are cutting out that lining, make sure you mark the back. Make sure you indicate the back, because any side that you miss the shape, if you are joining it, you realize that they are not aligning. So make sure you always indicate the back piece. So anyone that I cut out, I'll go ahead and make sure that the lining is facing the right side of the fabric. The right side of the lining is facing the right side of the fabric. Then I will indicate the wrong side. Now I am cutting out a pad for the center piece and the side piece. Of course, this dress is padded. If you want to pad only the lining, it is up to you, anyhow you want to pad it. And you know, she used velvet, so that velvet, we are going to add interface to the velvet, okay, so that when you are sewing, it will not be giving you any issues. So this is the center. I'll fold it into two and I will cut out my pad. Now I am done cutting my pad. It is time to join. So now we'll start joining them bit by bit, and as you're adding the pad, you know you're adding to the wrong side of the fabric. So now I'll go ahead and join these front pieces. After joining them, I'll come back and I will join the back pieces. So make sure you arrange them on your table before you sew. This dress, you have to make it with patience. Make sure you arrange them very well on your table before you sew. So you can see the way I'm arranging the back pieces. I made sure that the zipper allowance of the right side is facing the zipper allowance of the left side. Then I placed them very well and then closed the dart line. Now everything you did on the front part, you also repeat it on the lining, on the right side of that fabric. Anything you did to the main fabric, you are doing it to the lining. So you can see that all the wrong sides that I marked, I am placing them to make sure that the wrong sides are facing each other. So now after arranging, I'll go ahead and join. Now after arranging them, you go ahead and close and iron. Now this is my front. I am done joining the pad and the shape is coming out gradually. So if you are drafting this, please remember to close your side dart. If you want to add side dart, you can add side dart, but if you are confused, just leave the side dart so that it will not complicate things for you. Now this is the back. I'm adding the yoke. I'm done cutting out the yoke, and of course I'm fixing the yoke, and I doubled the yoke for all of them. So I'll go ahead and fix this yoke. After fixing the yoke, I will join the fabric together before turning with lining. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. This is the front. I'm done fixing my yoke to the front, right? I'll go ahead and join the back to this front. Make sure that you join all your main fabric pieces on fabric. Make sure you join them together. Then the same thing you did to the main fabric, you repeat it on the lining. You close the main fabric separately, you join the lining separately. Then after doing that, you can now start closing them. I don't want the side seam of this dress to show. If you're making this type of blouse, please, the side seam should not show, because it will give your job a tacky job. You know, this is an asymmetric full length, so if you're looking at it, you may be seeing all the joining. So now I'm trying to trim off all the rough edges before I cover with my lining. You can see what I have right there. So I'll turn my yoke and I'll go ahead and cover with my lining. You can see I joined my lining the same way I joined my fabric. So now, first thing that you're going to do is to turn your neckline, and to avoid stress and confusion, you can go ahead and pin everything. You can pin it down before sewing. That's the easiest way to go about this. So go ahead and turn the neckline. You top stitch the neckline, then you come back and turn the full length. You can see the neckline. I am done turning the neckline first of all, and it is remaining the full length. So I'll turn it over and I will close the full length. So this full length part, please pin. If you are still trying to learn how to do this, try to pin everything. Now I am done turning the full length. I'll go ahead and notch. You can see I'm notching because the full length is curvy, so you go ahead and notch. It is important. Notch everything so that when you are turning it out, all the curvy areas will turn and relax properly. So if you want, you can close your zipper allowance and open it up from one side and turn from there. But if you want, you can leave your zipper allowance like that. After, you can overlock it or you can weave it. Now after turning this, I'll go ahead and give it a nice press. Ironing is really important this time around. Now I am done ironing, and you can see my zipper allowance. My zipper allowance is open. I did not close my zipper allowance, and you can see two of them are equal around the zipper allowance, because we did not touch one side of that blouse. We only curved one side of the blouse. So this is my zipper allowance. You can go ahead and measure out your zipper allowance before you go ahead to start fixing your trimmings or your detail. Now this type of outfit, it is good to fit it before you continue whatsoever you are doing. Now the detail on this dress, first of all, you must, like I said, you must trace it out on fabric or your gum stay or paper stay before you must trace it out on your paper or gum stay before you cut it on fabric. So this one now is 25 inches. This one is for the short parts, of that detail. After cutting it out, I'll also cut the long one. So I am trying to like cut a straight pattern. If I cut a straight pattern, I'll now go ahead and add this. I'll start adding it to my blouse. I've already pinned my blouse on my mannequin. Sorry, I have kata. I'm trying to fight it. So this long one should be up to like 40 inches or 36 inches, but you can make it 40 inches so that when you are tracing it, when you are pinning on your dress, you will have excess to go around. So make it at least 40 inches or 45. You can see the way I curved it. I'll go ahead and curve it a little. This one is for the longer one. For the bigger one, it has a big one and it has a little one. So now I'll go ahead and trace this out. This is the way I curved it, in case you're looking for a clue on how to go about this. Then that short one, I later changed it to a circle flay. The straight one did not work for the short one. I had to change it to a circle flay. So now I've pinned my blouse on my mannequin, and this is what I have here. The next thing that we are going to do now is to start pinning that detail. You start from one side of the left hand side. For the big one, you start from the one side of the left hand side and you pin to the right hand side. So now let's start our pinning. This is the rough cutting that I have for now, right? So after this rough cutting, you pin it. After pinning it, you give it a nice look. I'll advise you to do this thing on your client's body so that you can determine the length of this particular detail, because this one will cross her hand. So now you are going to pin it on your client's body so that it will cross her hand. You check how comfortable it is and everything. So after pinning this down, I will use my marker and trace out the shape and the curves that Veekeejames gave it. So you guys can just watch me do it. So now I think this particular one that I have is okay. Make sure that the down part is covered, the upper part is covered. Then this one is a circular flea for the short one. You go ahead and cut a circle. Just cut out a circle. It is better. You can see I used a straight paper for the other one and it is not giving me what I want for that short one. So cut a circle and then trim one side of it. Then remove that straight one. I used straight one to do that one before. It wasn't giving me what I wanted. So I had to cut out a circle, a peplum like we call it. Cut out a flay and use flay. You can see as I'm pinning that flay, it is standing. So flay is better for the other side. And after pinning this flay, you go ahead and trim it down. So now, after getting the shape you want, you know you are doing this on your client's body, right, or in a dress form. After getting the shape that you think is okay, you can now bring it out from the fabric and now cut it. You cannot bring it out from the mannequin or bring it out from the blouse and now transfer it on fabric. It will make your job easy. I already have a tutorial on how to make it sorry, I already have a tutorial on how to make a detailed structure, but if you guys want me to do this, I'll also repeat it. But I already have so many videos on how to make a standing structure. So if you want this to stand, you can either use crinoline net, you can use bone, you can use crinoline, you can use hard gum, cola gum to make it stand. So all these things you have here now, you bring it out and you will transfer it on your fabric. Then after doing that, you will face back. I said this is for advanced students, so many of us know how to go about this. Thank you all for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe and click on notification bell so that anytime I upload a new video, you will be notified. Also, our online classes is ongoing, so if you want to register, drop a comment in the comment section and I'll direct you guys on how to register. We have so many online classes, and do not forget to hit our notification bell. It is important so that anytime I upload, you'll be notified. Thank you all. Bye.